What a game, huh? What a prelude to next week. It'll be another good one. I mean, these two teams have now met twice. First time was a 2013 game with them having the ball in the fourth quarter, and our defense got a stop. And same thing happened in this one. I'm really proud of our team, proud of the way they competed. We certainly didn't execute very well today as an offense. I thought our defense made some great adjustments in the second half, held them to 3 points in the second half, and did a really nice job in the second half. And offensively, a lot like last week, and we really got to take a hard look at it, just being consistent with what we do. You know what I mean? Just throwing it, catching it, reading it, blocking it. It seemed like it was, I don't know how many 3 and outs we had today, but it was a bunch of them. And it was like, okay, the left guard missed. Okay, the guy was open. Adrian just didn't see him, and then we ended up taking a sack. And then, all of a sudden it's third down, and he sees it, and we protect it, and we throw it, and we drop it. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, punt, here we go, defense, let's go. But it was never just it's almost like you want to say, okay, on the first play of the game, everybody just mess up. You know what I mean? Everybody be bad. Let's get it all out of the way so we can go execute as an offense. But we have not played very crisp 2 weeks in a row. But I think it speaks volumes to the character, to the resolve, the determination, the intangibles, the don't give up attitude that these guys have. Nobody panicked. Nobody flinched. You know what? We were still in the game. Defense kept us in it, and offense felt like, hey, we're within one score. Let's go. Let's go put it down. We're going to get it together. And it was like a light bulb went off, and we turned it up, and all of a sudden we made some first downs. Drove down the field, and were able to put the ball into the end zone. I think having leadership, like this guy sitting next to me, is huge. I think we got to try and find a way to get him the ball more. Because he has been incredibly productive when we get him the ball. And just really proud of him, what he was able to do to get us started on the opening drive of the game, on the big play. Probably has to do a little better job protecting the ball, but he made a huge play for us, getting us down there to the 1 yard line to be able to punch in the first score. So proud of the team, proud. I thought Corey, the defensive staff, did a really nice job with some of the adjustments they made at halftime. Thought they did a really nice job with that, and the players did a really nice job of executing. And all around, I thought blew it. What a difference from a kickoff standpoint with a touchback to start the game, with them starting on the 20-yard line rather than at midfield. That was huge. So it was nice to see him step up and do what he did. But this is playoff football. 2 great defenses. You know what I mean? 2 great defenses going at it. And I thought it was a heck of a football game, and I think it's going to make for a very entertaining week next week, for sure. So just really proud of our football team.
Hey, Coach, you talked about that the team has not played very well the last couple of weeks. I think that's a byproduct of just the win streak, having so much success, and I'm sure you've seen this as a coach before. Sometimes these losses, like last week, and then these close calls, that really sets you up for next week. Talk a little bit about that. Yeah,
I mean, I even told our team, I said, I think we could go through our locker room, and you'll probably find 50 different reasons on why we didn't play well. Some people are going to go, you know what, I took it for granted. You know what, I wasn't as focused as I needed to be. I can't lie. I mean, there's some, the game didn't have the same intensity the way it started, but they certainly finish that way. You know what I mean? It's like you can tell 2 teams that don't have, quote, anything to play for. You wouldn't have known that in the fourth quarter of that football game. They were still be on the sideline. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, it meant a lot to everybody. But I think, that as a coach, I refuse to look at it that way. I got to look at it and say, what do we got to do to get better? How can we become more consistent as an offensive football team? I thought they did a really good job of playing. They played a couple different coverages. They stayed deep, said they were going to take away after the early touchdown, said that we are going to take away these deep throws down the field. We're going to give you some of the underneath stuff. I thought they did a really nice job of keeping the ball in front of them and making us earn it, and we did not do that very efficiently. There aren't going to be any freebies. You're going to have to make a play. You know what I mean? You're not going to, I'm running wide open, throw it to me. It isn't going to happen. I mean, this is playoff football. And so you're going to have to make some contested catches, and you're going to have to make some plays against the defense. And like I said, we just weren't as consistent, but we got to watch this on film. We'll watch it tomorrow with our team, and we got to continue to get better. You got any input into that?
Yeah, like you piggybacking what you were saying on the past 2 weeks as a team, it's been it's been difficult for us for morale, because you have so much success going on, dating all the way back to last year, and then things are rolling. We're getting calls. I don't think we've lost a challenge all year, and it was just weird things that have been happening. And so you got to go back to where we started in fall camp, or spring camp, I guess, the principles that we laid out from day one, where when things aren't going our way, and we're all a watered down product of what we were doing, it's going to fall back on what we set in stone in spring of what our demands are, how we move as a football team, and just how we take on adversity. And so it's been, like I said, for other teams, this might be a great record and how everything is going, but the past 2 weeks have been tough on us, and it's been a real grind mentally, and it's something that I'm so proud of our team, how we overcame it today, because we didn't flinch. Things were not going our way. It looked ugly. I said at halftime we were way too nonchalant, but that's growing pains, and regardless of how successful we've been, it's at the end of the day, we still haven't played good football, our perfect football game, and that's what we're striving for. And so moving forward, I'm so ready to get back to work on Tuesday, because I know Saturday's going to be a show.
Coach, it's kind of a two-part question, if you will. The first part is, what was the conversation with the defense at halftime to limit them to 3 points in that second half? And then my other question was about C.J. Maribel, his production, his all-around total game, catching and receiving. Could you discuss that for a moment?
Yeah, defensively, when things aren't going well, you go back to basics. When things we call it offensively, we call it name and number. When things aren't going well, don't get exotic. You don't need a lot of motions and trying to call the perfect play, and that guy's there and that guy. Just day one install stuff, name and number, be simple. That was kind of the mindset defensively. You know what, we got out of our gaps. We got cut off on this one. We didn't do what we were supposed to do here. And I give them credit. Like we said, it's playoff football. It's two good football teams. Both teams are going to make some plays. But we just went back. We went back to a couple calls that to take advantage of where they were hurting us, kind of putting our fingers in the dam, and then just tried to be really simple with what we did. We didn't want to overcomplicate it. You weren't going to win or lose this football game because of a great call. You're going to lose it because you could execute the calls you made. And we came into this game, and there was a bunch of plays we never got to. But there are things that over the last couple of weeks we've been trying to polish them up and get ready that I would have loved to call, but I didn't feel like we were executing at a level that all of a sudden you run one of these plays that isn't a day one install, that these guys aren't like this on, and all of a sudden there's a little hesitation, there's a turnover, there's a ball put in danger or something like that. And so same thing with the defense. CJ, he shows up every week. He is the most versatile back we have. Running the ball and receiving the ball. That's taking nothing away from Tree or Ricky. But it was nice to have him back. And with Ricky down this week, he was going to play a more prominent role. And I thought he did a really nice job. He's very patient running the ball. The one run he had for the touchdown, he's just very patient. He's waiting on it. I heard this said the other day, old-time football was drop, step, and hit it, and you got to hit it full speed. Today, in the spread sets and all the zone runs and everything, you got to be patient, and you got to have vision, and you can't have a high heart rate. It's not a intense situation. It's an intelligent situation, you know what I mean? And CJ's he's really smart. He does everything well. He knows the offense. I can't speak enough positive things about him and the role that he played. And he was huge for us today.
Skip, with playing these guys now next week, how difficult is coming up with a game plan now? Obviously you showed a lot today, but is it difficult now to sort of tear that up and come up with something different?
Well, there's a lot of things, like I just said, there's a lot of things that we'll continue to polish this week that we didn't run this week. I didn't make two game plans. I didn't make one for next week and one for this week, but I made a pretty big one for this week. And I'll mark out the things we ran and still look at the things that we ran last week that we thought were really good against them. We're not going to get much different information, and they were completely different against us this week. They were all man and one high, and they played in this game in a two deep coverage, and played mostly zone, got into a little bit of man, but mostly zone. And so, will that be their strategy next week? They changed drastically from their first game to this game with the looks they gave us defensively. So you got to be prepared for both. We've got some other wrinkles, and we'll watch this game film and put together the best game plan that we feel matches what they did week 1 and today, and bring it into next week. I can't tell you, oh yeah, wait till you see what we say for next week. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like saving anything on that last drive. I would have called the kitchen sink if it would have got us in the end zone. I didn't hold anything back. It was like, put the ball in the end zone. It wasn't. I don't want to show that this week. We ran our offense, and we didn't run anything really. Then we ran one play maybe that we haven't run the majority of the season. And unfortunately, it didn't work. But it was, like I said, really proud. I think this one did not execute at the level we need to offensively, but did what we had to do down the stretch to win the game, and really proud of what the defense did. So we'll have something for next week as well.
Jace, I was going to ask, a lot of people might have thought, well, since you do have a playoff game next week, it's going to be hard to get motivated for this. But obviously, it's not hard because for guys like you who want to get back to the NFL, you don't take any days off, do you?
No, especially you can't in this league, and that's the beauty of this league. It's all about opportunity, and so, it is a pride thing. You do want to win, and you want to be dominant, but at the end of the day, the tape never lies, and so what you put out on tape is your resume. And so that's what I told him in the huddle today. I said, I don't care if we were playing the Birmingham High School today. Like, you are going out on the field. It's going to be televised. Like, it's a resume day today, regardless. Like, because every week it's 1-0 mentality. So you kind of. It's one of those things. Yeah, we were never going to take a week off or go light this week or rest anybody, because you can't take football for granted. You're one play away from your season being over or anything, and so anytime you get a chance to go play 60 minutes and be with your guys, you never want to pass that up.
My question is for Jace as well. Following the game, a little chippy on the field. You guys trash talking both ways. You guys are familiar with each other. You're going to play a championship game next week. From an intensity standpoint, how excited are you to get back out there and have a chance to go to another final?
I'm very excited to get to compete, to go to play for a championship. The chippiness is, again, it's a part of football. It's an emotional game. Some guys might be more emotional than the others based on what happened last year and not being on the team this year. But, we can't control that. I'm not the GM. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to stick up for my guys. And like I said, we're just focused on going 1-0.
All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks, fellas.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.